Hello again, classy people, this is Josh the Top Hat Gamer, and this week I'm reviewing Volume. I love stealth gameplay, but so few games actually nail their mechanics, let alone create an interesting game based solely around them. Volume, the latest from Thomas Was Alone creator Mike Bithell, seeks to recreate the same tense action of classic stealth titles like Metal Gear Solid, but is its lofty goal achieved? Let's find out. Volume takes place in England in a dystopic alternate future where the nation is run by a powerful company and its CEO Guy Gisborne. In this world, the divide between the haves and the have-nots has grown larger, and civil unrest runs rampant as a result. Players take the role of Rob Loxley, a young man with a knack for thievery who finds an old training simulator known as a Volume and uses it to broadcast simulated heists of real-world locations to the general public, with the intent of rallying the people to overthrow their oppressors. The overarching theme of stealing from the rich to give to the poor is certainly no coincidence, as you can tell by the generous allusions to Robin Hood and his merry men. While it is a noble sentiment, it's hard to call the main character himself heroic, as he puts himself at less risk than the people he incites. This is called out by many characters along the course of the narrative, and instead of questioning his goals and methods, Rob just sort of continues on. It's not until the ending that he receives any sort of development, and by then it's too little too late. The world of Volume is a surprisingly unique setting, and a lot of its personality and details are presented to us through a small cast of voiced characters. Much of what we learn of the setting is through text files, but the game feels like a part of a living, breathing world when you're shown snippets of other streams happening alongside Rob's, detailing how the public are responding to his actions. What makes these YouTube personality-style streamers feel authentic is that they actually are YouTube personalities. In fact, popular video game critic Jim Sterling features as an extremely vocal skeptic named Tuck who questions Rob's intent, and he's certainly not the only YouTuber present.
Hiding behind boxes. I see a lot of bouncing noisemakers. I see a whole bunch of false starts and mistakes. But I'm told, and so are you, that we're looking at a saviour, nay, a hero.
While I think the YouTubers did a fine job, they do tend to pale in comparison to their more seasoned co-stars. Assassin's Creed's Danny Wallace plays the charming AI named Alan and brings a dry wit and friendly tone to the proceedings, while veteran actor Andy Serkis brings a calm yet intimidating feel to the game's villain. Volume's sound design is genuinely excellent from top to bottom. Alongside the solid voice acting, the game's ambient digital tones keeps the action feeling smooth and deliberate, while maintaining a solid tension. When you're discovered, however, the music abruptly bursts with loud percussion and fast-paced strings. My only complaint is that the difference between these two states, volume-wise, is immense. Being caught will undoubtedly scare the pants off you the first time it happens. The game's visuals aren't as amazing, but the style and colour make spending time in Volume a real joy. The majority of the game takes place within the Volume, so environments are made up of large, mostly textureless polygons to represent Rob's simulated environments. Though they often lack detail, the layout of low walls or furniture tend to convey the idea of each location well enough. The most striking aspect of the visuals are the bright colours and different combinations of colours that you'll see along your journey. I was glad to find that even 80 or so levels in, I wasn't finding the levels outright boring. As I mentioned earlier, Volume seeks to recreate the same high-tension stealth action of games like Metal Gear Solid, and for the most part, it succeeds. Each level is a rather small combination of corridors, walls, and guards presented to players from a top-down perspective. Players can see guards' vision cones, as well as visual representations of sounds that can be used to distract or confuse your enemies. Using this information, players have to collect all the gems in a level and make it to the goal. The base mechanics are easy to learn, but Volume continues to introduce new elements such as gadgets or harder enemies to keep players on their toes. This certainly helps to keep Volume's gameplay entertaining for its 5-hour playtime, which helps it avoid outstaying its welcome. As you progress, you're given access to a number of toys that will aid in distracting or stunning guards, as well as environmental objects that will aid you in your sneaking, such as hiding places under floorboards or in closets. As the game progresses, many different aspects are thrown at you at once to truly test your skills. But although there are a handful of nerve-wracking challenges in the latter half of the game, much of the game just isn't challenging, if only due to the lackluster enemy AI, which becomes particularly noticeable when you encounter the slow-moving, slow-shooting archers who you can casually stroll past as they move at a snail's pace to catch you. Lack of challenge aside, I really only have two issues with Volume's gameplay. Firstly, the way the story is told to you in each level is genuinely distracting, and if you're looking at completing levels under the par time, then you'll find that you're standing still listening to the game's exposition, and then you'll reset the level once it's all over. It's just a waste of time. There has to have been a better way to implement this, perhaps between levels? The game already has cutscenes. Would it not help to break up the constant grind of playing level after level by telling a bit more of the story? Secondly, the game crashed on multiple occasions on PS4, with one such incident corrupting my save data around the halfway mark. If I hadn't found a way to back it up to a point where I wasn't pissed off playing from, then this review would have to have been a first impressions review, and the circumstances that triggered the crash weren't difficult to recreate either. Running across the level exit when you are taken down by guards seems like something that would have been playtested for. Sadly, it's marred an otherwise perfectly enjoyable game. While it's no Metal Gear, Volume finds itself very comfortably in the stealth genre with its competent, fun, and always evolving gameplay offsetting its lack of challenge. Though it clocks in at a rather short overall playtime, it doesn't outstay its welcome, and for those seeking further content, Volume features a custom level creation suite where you can play and share user-created maps. Volume gets the Top Hat Gamer rating of good. The game nails its fundamental gameplay while adding new mechanics often enough that players may not notice its challenge deficit. Additionally, the world of Volume is a fascinating one, even if the story falls a bit short. Add in the simulation's unique visual style and the excellent music, and you've got a winner. Thanks for watching. I hope you found the review informative. If you missed last week's review on Submerged, click the annotation. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some shit to steal.